Hey everybody, this is Kenny Cummins here, chilling with Kenny C, joining with a talented indie wrestler from right here in the Commonwealth, known as Kentucky. She is definitely a name that you are familiar with. If you're in the Kentucky area, she's been in OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling. She's got the tag team going with Kobe Lee, known as Chemical X. Um, Very excited to have this lady on. She has a bright future. And to have a chat with yours truly, I am joined with Judi Hendrix. How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you having you on. Definitely a fan. Definitely like what you've been able to do. Learning more about you per se. Before I get into the questions, I like to tell stories on this show. Or I'll take a trip down memory lane, if you will. Because you and I have met before. Um,
Hmm.
Ashland, Kentucky, Bluegrass Wrestling Convention. I was there. Yes,
Really?
yes. And I have a picture of you and one of your mentors, Bobby Blaze. I do
Oh,
remember.
I think
Yeah,
I do remember you. Yeah.
yes, yes. And the interesting thing is, like, I was there and I met all the people I wanted to meet. So I was on my way to my car, getting ready to leave, and then I get a notification, and it's from Judi Hendrix. So I'm like, wait a minute, she's actually at the convention. So let me just go right back in. I didn't throw my wristband away. I'll go right back. I talked to Bobby, like, hey, can you know where Judy is? He's like, she's at the Jillian's booth. I said, yo, I'm a fan. Yeah, I know she's busy, but can I get a picture with you and her? And we made it happen. So thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you, man. So yeah, we
Bobby's a
met.
great Bobby's a great person. Can't
Yes,
say enough nice things about Bobby Blaze or Jillian.
he definitely Bobby came through for me. So I'm grateful for that. He's got a podcast as well. Go check it out. So Judy, obviously, is you trained by him and you was also trained by Jillian. So talk a little bit. How did your wrestling journey begin, and what led you to being trained by Bobby and Jillian?
So when I was about 10 years old, I was like kind of a fan, but not really. Like I would watch it, but not really. Um, and then I believe the match that got me hooked, and from then on, wrestling was the only thing I've ever loved. Was AJ, Tamina, and I think Oksana versus Natalia and the Funkadactyls, Naomi and Cameron. And ever since like I had laid eyes on AJ Lee that day, like that's when like my whole life changed. I could not get enough of wrestling, specifically when she was on TV, because I thought she was just a superstar. But at the same time, I saw myself in her and I was like, this is like really cool. She's like a really humble human being. And on top of that, she's a superstar. Um, from there, I had in middle school, I had like a careers class, and everybody's like sitting there researching, like the tests that you take that are like they that your interests, and then they like list a bunch of stuff um that would suit you best. Well, I took my little test, whatever, and the first thing that came back was professional athlete. Number two was actor. Number three was stunt double. I was like, oh, okay, okay. This is kind of like a little sign. And then we ended up making resumes on in that class, and we had to come in dressed for the job. Me being the wrestling fan I am, I made a whole resume, and I just made up like my favorite like promotions, and I'm like, I'm a 10-time champion here, and I'm like a 5-time champion here. Me being a kid, I don't know any better. But And I came in dressed in my favorite wrestler's merch. I think I had like a John Cena t-shirt. I had like the leggings, and I had like the Sasha Bank rings and the glasses, and I had like a necklace of some sort. A bunch of crazy stuff. I came in with the Intercontinental belt. I didn't really care what anybody thought, because to me, I thought I looked cool. Flash forward to about my senior year of high school, I cheered for 5 years. I was a gymnast 15 years, and I was a cheerleader for 10. 5 of them was for my school. And my senior year, we had lost that basketball game, and that was the end of our season. The next day, I had taken in my uniforms and turned them in, and I went to a show that Friday, the following, that week on the Friday, and then the next day I went to training. And I originally started training with Chris Cannon, and Shane Douglas did some seminars here and there. And then he joined us. I trained with them for about 6 months. And then when Jillian was cleared from like postpartum, I started training with her. And then Bobby came around early in 2021. And then it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I'm grateful for what was and what the opportunities were, because honestly, I think I got lucky being in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people. And of course, I had known Jillian because I cheered with her daughter in school. So Jillian, I would message her all the time.
You got into wrestling at a young age. You watched in person, and then you went to school and put together a resume, and it was something that you wanted to do, and you got into training after school, obviously. And not only that, but you started to train.
Yeah.
You went with Shane and a couple other trainers and seminars, and then you eventually went to Bobby and Jillian, and you known Jillian for quite some time. So that's awesome. I definitely admire your passion for the sport. I definitely admire just everything about it. And people have a dream. When you have a dream, you go for it. People are gonna say what they want, obviously, but as long as you know what you want and you're pursuing it, then that's all that matters. So I admire your passion for sure, and look at you now. You definitely fulfilling your dream, and you are making the most of it. So obviously, you in OVW currently, making some appearances.
Yes.
You done singles actions, you done some tag team wrestling. So just talk about the experience you've had with OVW, and how's it feel being there, given their history and everything.
Recording in progress.
So I remember getting the message from Maria James, amazing Maria. It's Hollywood's mom. She's like, "We're looking for girls. Are you interested?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm interested, but I'm only been training for about like 3 months." And she goes, "Okay, well, when when you feel comfortable, give me a message or shoot me a message back. We'd love to have you here." Because at the time they only had like 4 girls regularly. That was before we scouted a bunch of indie girls and got our license and whatnot and head up to OVW. In about a year, it's been about a year since then. My debut was October 14th, I believe. And I was in a match with Danny Moe.
Mm-hmm.
They said, "We're not going to give you a lot of time. Basically, we're going to make her look good." Okay, cool. I'm going to make her look the best she can. and I'm gonna be the best I can doing it. I have no problem with anything like that because I want to do. If I'm given a task, I want to do it the best of my ability. If I'm gonna go out there and be a champion, I'm gonna be the best freaking champion. If I'm gonna go out there and lose in 2 minutes, I'm gonna do the best freaking job in 2 minutes. To me, being in that ring is a blessing. Being in OVW is beyond. I'm so blessed for that opportunity. Every time I walk through the doors, it's just like the first thing that comes to my mind is like thinking about all the people, the legends, the soon to be legends, the biggest stars in the industry right now have walked through them doors and made stars out of themselves there. My trainer, Jillian Hall, that's how she got signed to WWE because they had a developmental plan at that time or a connection. And she walked through them doors and she got herself to the next level there with OVW. And even though they don't have that connection anymore and we're pushing to be our own company, it's still a good place to make a name for yourself and to make yourself your own brand and make people interested in you because there is still a platform there. We're just trying to get out of the developmental idea and we're pushing to be like the bigger. We're trying to be as equal to Impact as to equal to WWE, but we're getting there. We have an audience, we have a platform, and every time I'm at the building, get to be a part of something, even if I'm there and I'm not on the show. Just representing OVW is just, to me, is just, I'm so grateful to be able to have the opportunity to represent such a company with such a legacy and with such like respect on the name.
Yeah, OVW, the resume speaks for itself. So many wrestlers, including Jillian, and she went on to become Divas Champion. She is Kentucky's only Divas Champion, from my understanding. I met Jillian at the Bluegrass Wrestling Convention, and she is such a sweetheart. Like, man, just pleasure.
She's a very down to earth human being.
I definitely,
Humble.
yeah.
She's real. Like you can talk to her and she's not like Jillian on TV. You can talk to her and you can be like, this is real. Like she's real with you.
Yeah.
It's genuine conversation.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy chatting with Jillian. It's good to see her make an appearance here every now and then. So, and me, I lived in Kentucky for most of my life, and I try my best to root for the Kentucky folks, because they one of us. Because they proof that you can make it out of anywhere and be somebody and move on to big things. So, I really enjoy Jillian. You got any upcoming shows, upcoming events that your fans need to keep an eye on?
Yes. This week I will be at I think it's I can't remember what the show's called, but it is on my Instagram. It is in Trenton, Tennessee. Next week, I will be working with Liberty and Joe Kazana. The next week after that, I'll be at AWA in Waldorf, Maryland. And April 9th, I will be in the Bash and Beckley #2 in the Woody Numbers Memorial Battle Royal.
Okay, and for people that wants to follow you on social media, where can they find you?
You can find me Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Real Judi Hendrix. Judi is spelled Judi.
Judi Hendrix. Go check out Judi on all of the social media sites and show your support. Support these indie wrestlers. They really put it in the work and they really, really appreciate that. Judi, I know we've